Well, howdy, folks. How the hell are you? I do not have a package to open today. No mail. No nothing. I have no mail. No nothing. But I just wanted to show off this beauty one more time. Let's see. Let's move this over just a little bit so you can see the bottom too. Yeah. Hey, Walter, how are you? Doing okay. Yesterday, not so good. I told you guys I had to go outside and cut up and unload that last load of walnut, which I did do, but I had to sit down several times on a trailer. I had to get in the truck, turn it on, turn the air conditioner on, drink water, drink water, drink water, and still, because it was so hot yesterday, I think I was probably on the verge of heat exhaustion because I came in the house. I sat outside in the mudroom for a while. I changed clothes. I came in the house. I sat down in this chair. I turned on YouTube. I fell asleep. I got up. I turned it off. I went to bed. So I slept. I took a nap for 4 hours. And then I got up. I came out here at 10 o'clock. I turned on the computer and I watched YouTube videos for another 4 hours. Went to bed at 2 o'clock and didn't get up this morning until 9 o'clock. So I slept over 12 hours and I was just beat. Yeah, that was yesterday. It was a hot yesterday, buddy. Oh, Dutch, it was hot. And when I sweat, I have a t-shirt on. My entire t-shirt is drenched. My entire jeans are drenched, and my underwear, of course. And I'm just drenched all the way down the top of my socks. That sleep last night. I really did. Anyway, so I haven't been doing anything today. I did go outside, took my lawnmower off the battery charger, put some gas cans in the back of my truck because they got to go get filled. When I got the mail, came back, and I was in between doing some paperwork here, getting caught up on stuff. And I'm still not quite all caught up. I got a call. I got to make a couple calls. I want to find a knife guy that can repair this pocket knife for me. It needs a spring and a rivet. And it needs to have, where is that? The can opener needs to be reground. You see the tip on the can opener right here? That should come down to point. And that is broken off. Come on, you. All right. We'll just go like this. You see it's broken off. And that either just probably just needs to be reground down to a fine tip. I can probably do that with a grinder, but I don't want to screw it up. But anyway, it does need a spring, and it needs a rivet to hold that spring in. But I have to look up online for pocket knife repair. I'm sure there is a knife maker someplace that makes pocket knives that could repair that. It's a piece of spring steel, and it's got to be a certain size, a certain shape, and then a rivet, hole drilled in, and then a rivet put in there. But all the blades and everything are there, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Oh, and I got to call that other guy. Newton, Iowa, and see if my blade is going to get shipped here one of these days and what it's going to cost me. I had a blade. Kraken told me to make him a blade, a knife, because he wanted one for his stage. Okay. So I made the blade. I got it shipped down to Walk With Me Designs because he does the laser engraving on it for me. I put a picture of a Kraken on it, or a giant octopus, and he was supposed to let me know when that's done and what it would cost. But I don't know. This one is different. It was made in 1957. It was made in 1957, and I had one when I was in the Army because they come in a demo kit. They're stainless steel, so they're non-sparking steel, because you use these in a demo kit when you're putting together explosives, fuses, and all that stuff. And so you want something non-sparking, and that's what these are. And this one, because it was made in 87, you see it's got the little thumb dealie right there on the screwdriver and the can bottle opener. It's got that little thumb deal in there, and that's not normal. The newer ones didn't have that, so that's why I want this one rebuilt. But yeah, everything else is there. I mean, there's the can opener. There's the bottle opener and a flat tip screwdriver. I'm going to get these other ones out of here. They don't have any fingernails, per se. I don't have long fingernails. If you can tell, I keep them very short. Because you can't poke something with fingernails. Okay, there's the blade. And the other little thing that's in there is a leather punch. So all of the utensils are there. We have blade. Got some shit on it, man. Let's see. Where's my? There it is. Yeah, handkerchief. Gotta clean this thing off. And you can tell it's a well-used blade. I mean, this thing has been used, but AG Iowa got it in a box of blades and knives, and he only wanted a couple, so he sent me this one and a couple other ones that he didn't want. Okay, I'll take this one. The other 3 blades went over to my brother's place to see if he can pedal, because that's what he does. He sells shit like that. And I just need to get a spring put in this one and a rivet. And then this one will be good to go. And I checked, it's not a Chinese blade. It is a camless, and it is stamped 1957. So I want it because of that right there. That's why I want it rebuilt, because of that right there. Yeah, I see those, Dutch. I have a couple of Swiss Army knives, but I keep the small ones. It's got the tweezer in, it's got the pick in, the toothpick in. It has 1 or maybe 2 blades, and that's it. I keep those. I don't like those great big honking, got a hammer and a wrench. And if I was going to get that, I just get a Leatherman, Yeah, you have to have a belt pouch. You have to carry it on your belt. Can't carry it in your pocket or have it on your keychain. So, yeah, that's what I do. But yes, sir, I wanted to show this bugger off again. And what a fantastic job that Angry Warrior Tacklebox did on pouring that thing. Because this thing is 85 ounces right here. This is 85 ounces. And he had to heat up 100 ounces in order to make sure he had enough to pour it. And can you imagine carrying in a crucible, a very hot crucible, with 100 ounces of molten metal in to pour into a mold or 2? Yeah, he said his arms and legs were shaking when he was done pouring that. And I can about imagine. He said his 21-year-old son was laughing at him because his arms and legs were shaking so much. So I have nothing but utter respect for somebody who can pour something like that. Nothing. And this is my Angry Tacklebox package opening tool right here. I have 3 or 4 of these. Nice Kydex sheath, belt clip, whole bit, $35. Come on, can't beat it. I got it from Angry. I think I like to buy knives from individual knife makers, not from big factories that make knives. Although I do like Cold Steels, I do like K-bars, Camelus. Yeah, so there are knives that I like and I will buy. There's a Gerber I want to buy. I do like Gerber knives. I've had a couple folders in my life I liked a lot. I don't have any of their fixed blades, but I will buy one because I see one I want to buy. And I'm not a dagger guy either, but there is a dagger that I want to buy. And I think I've shown it to you guys one time. It is this one right here. It celebrates honor of the 1st Special Service Force. And if you know, I collect all things Canadian and 1st Special Service Force. This stiletto, this V42 stiletto, made by Case, exclusively by Case, and it was designed by General Robert T. Frederick, and they created it. The Montana chapter of the Special Forces Association had it recreated, and it sold out on its first run. And they said they're going to put a second run together, and I am on the list to get one of the first ones on the second run, hopefully. But gentlemen, that's a $450 knife. So I've never paid that much for a knife before. No, I'm wrong. It's a $550 knife. I have paid $250, $300 and some dollars for a knife, but I've never paid $550 for a knife. But because it's honoring the 1st Special Service Force, I am going to take that one. Hey, Cumulus, where did I just see you? Did you just send me an email? You did, didn't you, or not? I gotta look. I don't know. I thought you had sent me a message. Email, yeah, that's what I thought. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Yeah. No, I was just showing off. I'm just showing off again. Angry Warrior Tacklebox is extraordinary work right here. I know it's really hard to see how big this thing is, but what I will do is I'm going to put this camera on. You see my chest right here? How big that is? I will go back to normal. Oh, sorry. I will go back to normal. There you go. That's my normal chest. There, that's how big that thing is. That's how wide it is. Almost as wide as my chest, not quite. But here's my forearm. That goes almost from, it does. It goes from elbow to wrist. That's how big it is. So you don't really get an idea how big it is until you put your arm up next to it. Look at that thing. Look at how big that is. You really don't have an idea how big this thing is until you have it in your hand. Because that weighs 10 pounds? I don't know. 6 pounds, 10 pounds, something like that. It's 85 ounces. So that just, it blows my mind how well that turned out. It really did. It blows my mind. Oh, and I got the SR71 up there too. You can't really see that real well. There. I don't even see the SR71 a little better. Got to put this down just a tad, like that. Yeah. Now you can see a little better. And that, if you didn't know it, but this SR71, see how thick that is too? See, that's the front. That's what's looking at you. But that's the back. But if you look at it from the side, tail, it looks pretty thin, right? Until you get right there at the front. Then it gets rather thick up there, doesn't it? Because that's 3.58 ounces. And you see right here how it goes from thin to thick. Right there, that line. It's a cool pour, though. It's a great airplane. I don't care what anybody says about the airplane. It's one of the most iconic designs in our inventory, along with A-10 Warthog and the B-2 Bomber. I think those are three of the best looking aircraft we have. And of course, if you want to talk iconic aircraft, the C-46, C-47, which is a military version of a DC-3, and the C-130. And I have a C-130 pours. I think I got the A-10 pour, and now I got the SR-71. I still need a B-2 pour. I'll get those. When he decides to pour them, if he can find something to, if he can find something to make a mold. Yeah, I lost a lot of money making it, but was it worth it to me? Yeah, it was worth it to me. So, yeah, if they were going to inherit it, but you know what? These might get sold to a military collector. They'll get the money out of it that way, I think. But I still got a 20 millimeter down at Ginger's getting done, and I still want a 40 millimeter. The grenade. The grenade's only about that big, but it's 40 millimeter round, so yeah. Think of it as a large shotgun shell. That's what a 40 millimeter looks like. But I want one of those yet. The 20 millimeter still, Ginger still got it. So that took, let me see, this one took 7 point some ounces. And the 20 is going to take, it's going to be double, triple that. So I sent 25 ounces down, or 20 or 25 ounces down there. So I don't know how much it'll take, but I figured it would take at least twice. So 7, 15. I figured 15 ounces, so I sent 20. That's what I did. Anyway, Ginger said it might take more. I don't know if it takes more. If it does, no problem. I'll just send him a couple more rounds. Ain't no biggie. You know, I'd rather look at fervent. I would rather look at this than just have all those rounds in an ammo box sitting in a safe. You know what I mean? I don't look at those all the time. These I look at. So I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. I think it's better that that silver is made into something and it's set out so you can look at it and admire it as opposed to just sitting in a safe in a box. I don't know. Some of it anyway. Some of it anyway. So yeah, you see some of that shit in the background. That's just all fucking junk back here. Of course, you got to keep a comb up here, so when you take the hair tie out of your hair, you can comb your hair out. Yeah. Yes, I need a 223, but I don't know if I need one out of gold. That would be neat if I had one out of gold. I got enough gold I could make one, or have someone make one. But then I'd want gold. Nah, I don't want to do that. Maybe a 9mm, because that would be a little bit smaller than the 45. I think the 45 is an ounce, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 45 is an ounce. So that big, that's 1 ounce right there. This 308, I know this is a 308. And that's 2 full ounces. A 223, yes, I need a 223. Hell, the shotgun. This 12 gauge is what? 5 ounces. That 12 gauge shell is 5 ounces. So, I mean, when you start getting solid like that in the middle, boy, that weight really piles up. I don't know if Ginger even put a weight on this one or not. Oh, that's a titanium one, sorry. That's a titanium. I think Ginger put a weight on this. Yeah, this is 8.5. This is 925 or 8.5 ounces. So double that, 16, 17 ounces. So 20 might be all right. But he stamped at 925, and it's not really 925. It's a combination. It's like a 95, 0.95, because I had some extra 925 stuff, a little bit, and maybe an ounce or something, and threw an ounce in there. So this is more like a 0.95 or a 0.96. But once you, I think he had it assayed, it was a 0.95. So, but he stamped it 0.925 because that's what's normal, quote unquote normal. So, but yeah, that's what happens when you mix silver. When you mix silver up, because I had a little 925, so yeah, just throw it in there. What the hell? Probably should have kept the 925. I think I only had an ounce of it anyway. So whatever, doesn't matter. Summer plans? Oh, summer plans. You know, I got all that oak unloaded, hauled, cut, unloaded on a pile out there, and the wood splitter sitting right there. I have 1, 2, 3 or 4 oak logs that still need to be cut up, but they were on the bottom of the pile and they're kind of sunk into the ground, so I got to dig them out a little bit. But I want to all of that oak yet's got to get split, and then I can start working on that walnut, and that's got to go in the shed. And oh, there's a whole bunch of lumber out there. I got here. Go this way. Go this way. I got a stack of wood on the south side of the shed. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piles there, and that's half the shed in the front half. There was tractor parts behind it at one time, but that's gone now, so that can be extended. But in between that 5 or 6 piles, there's a bunch of lumber laying there. You know, that's just lumber that we have extra that we use for projects or whatever. But then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 8 more piles of wood on the other side of that. So what I want to do is take that lumber out of there, put it on my. That's what I mean, Cumulus. It's a 40 millimeter, 203 or a 79 round. It's the same round, but I want one of those too. You're right. Yes, I had a great birthday. Both of my girls, 2 of my girls were here. The youngest and middle one that live here. I got a phone call, a Zoom call from my daughter in Philadelphia wishing me happy birthday. They made me a cake, a ring cake with raspberry frosting. And we had fresh raspberries that we picked out here. Fresh raspberries in the frosting. And Cool Whip on it. It was good. It was good. And then for presents, of course, I got food. I got a 12-pack, 20-ounce Diet Pepsi. I got a bag of chips. I got nuts. I got, all of my snacky foods, basically. All my snacky foods. Do I feel 70? Yes. Yes, I do. Because of military injuries. If I didn't have the military injuries, would I feel 70? No. I'd feel 60 if I didn't have these military injuries. But no, I just firewood. It's just firewood. I don't sell firewood. I burn firewood. I have an outdoor furnace that rotates hot water. You know, it's a hydroponic furnace, so it rotates hot water, pumps it into the house. It heats my hot water, and it heats my furnace. So I have a forced air furnace with a LP backup, and the water softener is electric water softener. But when hot water is being generated by the hydroponic stove, then the electricity doesn't kick on. So it's kind of like an electric backup when I'm running the hydroponic. But I have a wood burning stove. It's an addition to my furnace. So it blows hot air from my wood burner, set separate from my furnace. It blows hot air into my duct system from that wood burner, and that heats the house too. But I had a small chimney fire at one time. It wasn't anything big. It was just creosote was burning in the clean out. You know, there's a T with the clean out at the bottom, and there was some, I don't know, it got some kind of spark up in there. Anyway, that started on fire, and it was starting to get hot. But that's why you have double, triple walled insulated pipe. And I just had the girls kill the fire because I was gone. They called me on the phone. I said, just kill the fire and call the fire department. And they did. And then I called my neighbor, and he came up. And before the fire department even got here, he was up on the roof, and he had sprayed a fire extinguisher down in the chimney, but he didn't need it because the chimney itself wasn't on fire. It was just that little cleanup at the bottom. And the fire department came, and they wanted to cut through walls, and oh Jesus! And I got them stopped. No, we don't need to do that. We have the fire out. So we got that all taken care of. But that's when I decided that I wanted an outside wood burner, and I bought a used one from a gentleman or from a lady. I traded her an old pickup for it, and that one lasted a few years, 3-4 years. That pickup was worth $800, but she wanted it, and I wanted the stove. So, and then when that one petered out, because they don't last forever. I mean, there's a useful life to them. I found one online I bought from a guy over here by Mason City, and this one was 11 years old when I bought it. He was upgrading to a titanium firebox, and this was just a regular steel firebox in here, not stainless. It's not titanium. It's just regular steel. And so I bought it from him and had it replaced. I took apart and sold the first one I had, scrapped it. And then this one was 11 years old when I got it. I've had it for 5 or 6 years now. Yes, and there's some maintenance I have to do on it. I have to put a new T on it with a clean out, and where the pipe goes up, it goes in the stove. I have to put a new one of those on because it's separated pretty bad. And every year I got to put a new door seal in. I would like to have a pressure check to see if I have any leaks in the firebox at all. But to do that, you have to shut the water off to the 2 lines that go in the house. And you have to put pressure on it from the top and see if there's any leaks in it. See if it'll build pressure. You have to build pressure to see if it will maintain. And if you look inside and there's no water coming from anywhere and it maintains pressure, then there's no leak inside. I'm concerned because I get, I think, too much creosote. But I think the creosote comes from not complete burning. Try and trade for a front end loader on your Massey. 1655, that's like a 30 horse, 32 horse tractor. 1655. Might be 45 horse. I'm not sure. See, like my Oliver 770, I think is a 35 horse. And I had a little Chinese 2-cylinder diesel that was a 20 horse, but I eventually sold that one. Good little tractor. Just the parts that you get for it I mean, the craftsmanship is complete shit. But if you use them till they break or wear out, then sell them and they last, then they're okay. But 16, but you put a 25 in it. Okay, good. 1655. I should have guessed that. 16 horse. But yeah, if you go online, I don't know if you want to pay a full price for a loader, but they have some cheap loaders online. They really do. I bought the loader for this 770. It was at an implement dealer down in Waverly, I believe. Yeah, it was Waverly, Iowa. And it was on a 770 on this implement lot. And I went in and asked the guy, I said, would you sell that loader on that 770 separate? Because I have a 770 I want to put it on. He said, everything is for sale. He quoted me a price. He said, and we'll take it off and load it on your trailer. I said, okay. And it's a Quaker loader, a big K Quaker loader. And it only has 1 cylinder on the bucket, but that's all I need. I don't really care. So it does everything I want it to do. And then my 770 had a narrow front end with power steering on. And I took that off. I bought the wide front end for it. Because if you have a loaded bucket, you have a loader with a loaded bucket, trying to steer a narrow front end is terrible. And it's not real stable. So I bought a wide front end from a guy up in Wisconsin that deals in Oliver tractor parts. But it was for a manual steer front end, not power steering. So I had to block off the power steering. And I put power steering in that unit because it's on the front of my regulator, because it still has a regulator on. no alternator, and just keep it lubricated. That's all. 1855 to 18 so that's kind of what I was thinking. But hey, Pedro, what's up, buddy? I just came online. We were going to chat, but I was showing this off again because I wanted people to understand how big this thing actually is. You see my mouse down here, right? But here's my arm next to it. You see that? That's how big that thing is. That's from wrist to elbow in length. And it's just about half the size of my arm, my forearm. So, when people look at this, they don't see how big this thing is. That's 85 ounces of silver right there. Cumulus. Yeah, I see how that goes. They did make a factory 3-point hitch for my Oliver, and I would like to get one. And I thought I had one found, but I'm thinking to myself, do I really need it? Because if I get the 3-point hitch, then I got to get all the equipment that goes with the 3-point hitch. Yeah, I see how that goes, buddy. Yeah, I see how that goes. This thing is massive, man, massive. And like I was telling Fervid, Pedro, my girls, if they would have inherited the rounds that went into this, it'd probably be easier to sell. But anybody who buys this is going to melt it down anyway, unless it's a military collector. And for me, right now, for the rest of my life anyway, I would rather look at this. I would rather look at this than have those rounds sitting in an ammo box in my safe. Is that my EOS gone? Yeah, buddy, you wish, huh? And the same guy that poured this also poured this SR-71. I don't know how many angry pours I have. I'm going to have to bring them in again and show you guys. I got a few. And then Ginger poured this 50 caliber for me. But set that in front of that 30 or beside of it. And Ginger's got my 20 yet, so that's going to be about that big. So when I actually texted Ginger, I don't know. There you go. I texted Ginger to see if and when or how that one's coming. I don't know how that one's coming, but we'll see. We'll see how that one's coming along. He tried to pour it. I watched him pour it the first time. He tried to pour it horizontal. And the silver, there was a bubble in the top along the cave. And I don't think he had it tilted just right or whatever. But I think no, I'm not going to do a ping test on this thing. I don't even have I let my stick, I threw it on the floor for a dog to chew on. I don't know, but could this thing even ping? Let's take the other silver. I don't know if you can hear it or not. That's what that sounds like, though. And Angry did a real good job polishing this thing, too. Angry did a real good job polishing it. He got himself a wheel, and you got to have a long shaft arbor motor, a long shaft for to put the wheel on. Otherwise, you can't get stuff back and forth on it. But it's a felt wheel, and you put jeweler's rouge on it, and then you polish it. I use one for knife blades, and I said you'll be extremely happy with that instead of trying to use a Dremel tool or a small drill to do polishing with something this big. And he said, yeah, he was happy with that. So I'm glad. Hey, Pang. I hope. I hope he is happy. I think he will be with that wheel that he got to do that with. Yeah, I'd like to see him do the gun that this goes in, the Vulcan. That he can use your silver for that, Pedro. I don't have enough. You have more than I do by a long shot. I don't know. Maybe after the WWP auction, now maybe I got more. I doubt that. Seriously, I doubt that. I put some glucosamine chondroitin in here this morning, and the thing with that stuff is, in coffee it tastes like shit. So then I put like a tablespoon of honey in it too, and actually that makes it taste better. But it's not the taste you expect when you drink coffee. I can tell you that. But you lost your stack in a boating accident. Yeah. Well, all the guns that all these go in, I lost all those in a boating accident too. And see, I have an excuse. I got a river right down here for 400 yards. I mean, granted, it's not really deep enough most of the time to put a boat in, except for a kayak or a canoe. But still, you can turn those over. What, this one? See what it says underneath. Think critically, question boldly, analyze thoroughly, act decisively. You make those decisions and you go through that process. Every decision you make, right? Or you should. That's how you plan. That's how you plan a mission. Deal presso liber means to liberate the oppressed. That's what we do. That's what we did. Oh, I got some other ones over here too. You know, you got that. You got enjoy every sandwich. Everybody's always got to ask about that one. Or you got that one or that one. You know, you got all these way up here. Oh shit! Camera down! Camera down! You got this one way over there. You got more than you think. I think my youngest daughter's got more tattoos than I do. Her entire back, she has an angel with wings spread on her entire back. Looks cool as shit. I told her I don't mind tattoos on women, as long as they're not visible during your workday when you're wearing work clothes. Nothing from your shoulder up, from your elbow down, or from your knees down. And she's got them on her thighs. She's got them up here, got them on her back. I think she's even got one right here. But if you got a shirt buttoned up, can't see it. If you open it up and you're exposing the cleavage, then you can see it. But yeah, and then my middle daughter's got a couple of them, small ones. '86, huh? He'd have been 16 years older than me. Yeah, sorry to hear he's gone. My dad died when I was 8 of lymphoma. I think my older brother was 9 or 10, might have been 10 when my dad died. My mother they had 7 children. I was the second oldest. The youngest one, Brian, he was still nursing or just off of, he might have been on a bottle by then. But that's when my dad died. And so we did the government assistance thing for a couple of years through Social Security and whatever, because Dad was a Korean War vet, so he had that going for him. And so I think Mom lived off his Social Security for 7 kids, and we were on food assistance. So we had the big blocks of cheese, and we had powdered milk and powdered eggs and powdered oatmeal and all that shit. Oatmeal and cream of wheat, and for a couple years. I mean, it wasn't bad. We thought it was normal. We had a house to live in, so that wasn't a big deal. We had a car. Most of the time, we had a car. Sometimes we didn't have a car. We relied a lot because we family units around where we lived. So we had aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents that we stayed with when Mom had to go to Iowa City to the VA hospital where he was at, and back and forth. And people would drive us, and we thought it was pretty much normal. But yeah, I lost my mom, 4 years ago now. And my stepdad, and all that story comes around. My mom got remarried to my stepdad, I think 2.5 years after my dad died. And he didn't adopt us, but he took us all in. And plus, they had 4 more of their own. So we had a very large family. There was 11 of us. And before, we lived in town. Then we lived in the country after my stepdad. So we had cattle and hogs and dogs and cats, and we had a pony or 2. And sometimes the old man, because he couldn't live without raising some kind of an animal. Oh, we had chickens, and we had ducks. No, we didn't have any ducks or geese, but we had chickens that laid eggs, so we got eggs. We butchered our own hogs and cattle. Plus, we had them for sale. I remember when we were farrowing hogs, we farrowed 50 sows twice a year. So let's just say you had an average of 8 per litter times 50. What do you got? 8 times 5, 45. 8 times 9, 45. 400 hogs. 400 head of hogs, feeder hogs that we had to take care of, plus 50 sows and a boar. And that means cleaning out all those pens. And that means cleaning out feeder floors and where those hogs slept. And the finishing floor. And then we had, what do we have? 20, 25 cattle at one time, beef cattle. And that means cleaning out the cattle barn. That means raising crops, grinding and mixing feed, which we did all of that. And almost all of our corn was picked with a 2-row, 3-row picker, put in cribs, and then we had a neighbor come down. No, a neighbor, but a guy come down, Beeson. He came down, and we shelled corn. We'd rake it out of the cribs, and the conveyor goes up in a machine, blows cobs out, puts corn over in a wagon. Okay, then you store the corn, because you didn't all store it at one time in big bins. You just stored some. And then when that was used up, then you would shell more. And then that corn, if you're going to put protein or blood meal or whatever, blood meal to keep hogs from biting tails and ears and stuff, then you would use a grinder mixer. So you would grind the corn, would go through a screen, a hammer mill would hammer it in, you would add in your feed additives, whether it's salt or whether it's blood meal or whether it's whatever that you put in. And then it would mix it. And then you would unload it into the feeders. and the hogs would eat it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. People don't remember the way we used to raise hogs, or the way we used to make food. Yeah, I know. I mean, and I've thought about it a lot too as I've gotten older. What death is, where you go, what happens to you. Not just your body. Your body's nothing more than a shell. You're just a meat suit. That's all you are. You're a meat suit. Your meat suit eventually wears out. It gives out and it goes away. But the thing that's in here, up here, that energy that you have is still alive someplace. Where does it go? What does it do? I look at death as part of life. It's just the end of one life. That's all it. Well, it's not the end of a life. It's the end of a. It's the end of a shell. It's the end of a shell. That person, that energy, is still alive because energy can. Energy is I'd say omnipresent. Uh, you can neither create or destroy energy. It just takes on different forms. Does that make sense to you? Like if you put up a dam and you want to make hydroelectric energy, you're taking the energy from the river that's already there, already flowing, and transforming it into electrical energy by means of a turbine. That's so energy is not created or destroyed. You can never destroy energy. Even if we had an atomic war and the whole world was annihilated, population, there is still an energy here that can't be destroyed. Even if the planet blew up, there's a residual energy. So what I'm trying to say is energy can either never be destroyed or created. It just changes form. So the energy in you changes form. What form does it change into? That is the question. Yes, you're a battery, basically. You're a temporary shell for energy. That's what you are. That's what your body is, a temporary shell for energy. I mean, love it, hate it, uh, get pissed off at it, smile at it. Doesn't make any difference because that's what it is. You know, you think about the biblical version of heaven and hell when you die. But I think the heaven and hell scenario in the Bible, and because the Bible is mostly all, the heaven and hell is good and evil. Okay. I'm not a big religious person. I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy. I went to Teens Encounter Christ camps until I was. Hmm, I agreed with my wife to raise our girls in a Catholic faith. That's what I agreed to do, and I up until confirmation, and I held to that. And at confirmation, I told those girls that now you are free to explore other religions if you haven't already, and to make up your own mind as what religion you want to follow. At that point, after the last child was confirmed, I quit Catholic Church completely because organized religion, in my mind, is nothing more than a control mechanism for humans. That's exactly what it is. It's a control mechanism. Now, some of those rules that come from Christianity or Judo Christianity, Some of those rules are the basis for our laws, some of our laws. And control is a bad thing. Some of it is a good thing. But now you're going to start giving me down that rabbit hole of religions. I don't want to go there. I will just say this much, that Christianity in the 17th, 18th century tried to evangelize the entire world, tried to convert the entire world to Christianity. That's what it tried to do. That's what Islam is trying to do today, to take over the entire world. Not by evangelizing, but by killing anyone who disagrees or will not convert. So pick your poison. Good versus evil. Islam is evil. All Muslims are evil people. If they follow the jihadist version of Islam. My opinion, my channel. Yeah, okay. So I quit following Catholic faith. What do I believe in as far as life after death? Is there life after death? Can you be reincarnated? I think so. I think you will be reincarnated. You'll go to the waiting room. And in the waiting room, they'll make a decision. Have you reached nirvana? Have you reached ultimate consciousness? Here, you're going to the next dimension, and you're going to a good dimension. What you find there, I don't know, but it'll be a hell of a lot than what it is here. If you're a shit person, you're evil. You're evil. You're going to another dimension also, but you're going to another dimension of here. You're going to another dimension of here that's not as good as here. It'll be worse than here. If you are, if you need just a little kick in the seat of the pants to get you up to the next better level, you're coming right back here. You're coming right back here. Maybe not in this time, but in another time. It'll be this dimension. But you'll be a different person. Your life will be different. You won't remember anything of your previous life. But that's hell. That's purgatory, and that's heaven to me. Different dimensions of reality. Yeah. When you think about it, yeah, the waiting room here is a waiting room for like Beetlejuice. You take a number. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be about the same thing. That's funny. That is funny. Never even thought about that. Best to keep my mouth shut about Islam? No. I think you should shout it out loud. I think you should shout it out loud. I think you should shout it out loud. You know, it's okay to, if you have a great neighbor that's a Muslim and they're a fine person, but you have to remember in the back of your mind that the teachings in the Quran say it's okay to lie and cheat an infidel. And you're an infidel if you haven't converted to Islam. So they can lie straight to your face. They could be the greatest person in the world until it comes time for you to either convert or you're going to pay an exorbitant tax or you're going to die. One or the other. You got those three choices right there. Those three choices. That's what it says in the Quran. That's what is going to happen. So those nice, quote, nice Muslims can lie to your face, can cheat you, steal from you. It's okay if you're doing that to an infidel, to someone who hasn't converted. But you cannot do that to someone who has converted. There are strict laws, Sharia laws that will punish you severely for that. But you got those three choices. So in my mind, all Muslims are evil. They may not be an evil person, as in good versus evil, but if they believe in that shit, then they are. So I trust no one who says they're a Muslim at all. I trust no one that says they're a Muslim. I don't trust a lot of people anymore. I used to, because I'm a trusting person by nature. I think most people are, until you get screwed. Until you get screwed by a friend who steals $1,300 from you, or you get screwed by a buddy in the army who says, yeah, I'll pay you back. I need $50 until payday, and they don't. So yeah, I used to be a trusting person. I still am to a certain extent, but no, I don't trust a lot of people anymore. Where do you live, Dutch? Just kind of wondering. Sounds like Minneapolis, St. Paul. I got nephews and nieces who live north of the city, up there. And, pretty successful. One niece is a banker, investment banker. Her husband is a freelance construction contractor. And he's from Kenya, believe it or not. Hard-working son of a bitch. And they have 2 kids. And then my nephew used to work banking, but he got tired of that. And now he's a general manager of a Ace Hardware store up there, a big Ace Hardware store. And he likes doing that. He's a collector and seller of items. I buy him sports-related stuff and sell it to him, and then he resells it. But he does collect other things too. I haven't got a list of everything because I could buy him a whole lot more, I think. But that's correct, Pedro. I believe that also. Religion can be used for both good and evil. And as Terrence Pop, redonkulous.com, if you ever want to go to YouTube and check out redonkulous.com, because if it's ridiculous and wrong, it's redonkulous. And a lot of people don't care for him, don't care for his humor. He was a regular Army, then went to the 9th Infantry Division. Oh, no, he went straight to the Rangers. Never did go to the 9th. Usually you go to the 9th Infantry Division before you go to the Rangers, but he went right to Ranger School, and then went to the 2nd Battalion Rangers up Fort Lewis. And then after he got out of the Ranger Battalion, I think he spent like 2 years in the Ranger Battalion. Yeah, maybe 3 years in the Ranger Battalion. Got out. He joined, who would he go to first? I knew him in the 12th Special Forces group anyway. He went to the 12th, but he was in B Company 1st Battalion, no, 1st Battalion Charlie Company up in Michigan. And I was with B Company 1st Battalion over in Illinois. And I did one mission with him. I remember him. And when the 12th group got deactivated, I went to the 85th Division because I had to. And he went to the 20th Special Forces group that started a company in Chicago to take all of those special forces qualified people, and keep them in special forces rather than just disband the 12th and let that talent go everywhere. And so he transferred to the 20th until they moved that provisional company in Chicago back down south. Then he went up to the, I think he went to an MI company up there. Yeah, I think he went to a military intelligence company and might have did psyops. Anyway, he got, and was it 94 or 90, yeah, 94, he got deployed to Desert Storm. No, he did get deployed to Desert Storm. He got deployed the second Iraq War because he was NCO in charge of Abu Ghraib right after they had the big blow up there. Then he took over. And then he did his 33 years. He got medically retired. I did my 20. I got the hell out because I was tired of it. I didn't get deployed to Panama, Grenada, or Desert Storm the first time. So I just said, fuck it, I'm out. Maybe I should have stayed. Maybe I would have got deployed Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't know. I missed it all the way around. I just got tired of it. Hi, Diane. How are you? I have to read chat here. Sorry if I slow down a little bit. Yep, Dutch, you are correct. That's right. I remember you live in the Netherlands. Yep. And you can see what's happening in England and in Ireland. They've had enough. They've had enough. And I said back when that the Crusades will start again if something isn't done. Well, that'll be something that gets done, but there will actually be freedom seeds dispersed in a lot of places. People talk about what will cause a civil war, another civil war in America. What will cause another civil war? That's what's going to cause it right there. But don't take my word for it. And I hope that I don't live to see it. But I don't want my daughters to see it either. I don't want any of my nephews and nieces' grandkids be my brothers and sisters' grandkids to see it either. But it's going to happen at some point. Human civilization does this. Look at our economy. All economies, all great economies have failed. All of them, every one. From the beginning of time, they have debased their monetary system, their money. They debased their money to the point where it fails. And we're in the same boat right now. What they're doing is trying to patch up a leaky boat with our economy. So when that happens, and we are no longer the world's reserve currency, I don't think that there will be a world reserve currency after that. I think everybody will trade for oil, for gas, for whatever assets in their own currency based on how much gold they own, how much assets, hard assets they have, will be the value of their money. And then we'll just trade for assets like that from country to country. I do not think there will be a world reserve currency anymore. There may be coalitions like BRICS. There may be coalitions like something else, but I don't think there will be a world reserve currency. I just don't. But Well, it's getting bad here too, Dutch. Look at New York City. Look at Minneapolis, St. Paul. You think by taking this thing out, Diane, that it'll affect Joe's health for the better? That he won't be getting infections and affecting his respiratory? I mean, I can see that if you have a tumor or growth and you get infection, your body's fighting that constantly. So that's taking away from everything else. And yeah, I can see it. All I can say, Dutch, is, and everybody who's listening, I would stockpile up on ammunition while it's available and still pretty cheap. I would stock up on your weapons of choice. You only need uh, three calibers, basically. You need a 223, you need a 12 gauge, you need a 22. That's all you need. That's all you need. Stock up on the ammo, 12 gauge and 223. And if you're like me and you want to shoot things further out, because I don't really like running around hiding between buildings and stuff, because I can't, I would rather shoot them at 1,000 yards and let them lay. That's just me. So that's why I have a 6.5 Creedmoor, and that's why I have a 338 Win Mag, so I can reach out and touch people. And then the 223s, depending on length and bullets, will be anywhere from 600 yards on in to close quarters combat. And then you have 12 gauge and your 9mm pistols for that. Smart, maybe you could have a 9mm pistol caliber carbine. Short, I got a Ruger, it's a full size rifle, but you get shorter ones, pistol size, shoulder brace, and your handguns. I got handguns everywhere. I got a handgun in a desk drawer right here. I got a handgun beside my bed. I got a handgun in a truck. I got a handgun in that shed, in that shed. I have a 223 in a truck also, an M4. I think so too, Diane. I think that's what it was. That thing right there on the knee was causing the rest of his body to do that. Pedro, do you still use paper shells? Or you got all plastic now? You know the roll crimps on the top and stuff? I have all those. I have a whole set of crimpers for different gauges for paper shells like that. Yes, that's plastic. That's what I thought. I don't know. There's some people that still shoot paper stuff, and I have all the old crimpers for that. And I don't reload shotgun shells. I'm gonna take them down to John and see if he does yet, because he reloads shotgun shells. That's what I was thinking, Diane. If they killed all that infection in his body, and I'm thinking that was caused by that, he's going to feel a lot better, a lot better. I'm assuming then that you're not coming up today. And maybe not this week. Maybe next week, but not this week, is what I'm thinking. Because if you were coming up today, I'm not going outside. If you're not coming up today, then I'm going to have to go outside and do some work. But on days that you guys are up, I don't. I don't try and do that. Are you going, Lisa? Big hug, babe. Yeah, you probably don't want to break in his house. I don't think you want to break in here either. But yes, I reload pistol ammunition, and I'll tell you, Pedro, my favorite round, and it always has been, and I shot on 45, 1911 45 on a pistol team in the 1st Infantry Division for 3 years. Um, and so I'm partial to single action, double action, semi automatic pistols with a hammer, with a fucking thumb safety. I really don't like to carry pistols that have just a trigger safety and that's it. Precock striker fired pistols with just a trigger safety. I don't like that, and I won't carry one appendix like that. I don't like carrying appendix anyway, but I got a belly. I got a belly. So I always carry on my hip anyway, but I don't like carrying something without a manual safety. However, I think most of the manufacturers now are starting to make everything with a safety or without a safety, one way or the other. 2 different models. Like my P365, I got it with a thumb safety. I have a couple that do not, that I really like. I like the pistols, but they don't have a thumb safety on. Hey, AJ, how are you, buddy? Oh, good, man. Good. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, really? Today is Wednesday, isn't it? I gotta check. I lose track of days. Nope, today's Tuesday. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what day it is. 6/5. Sunday. Yeah. Okay, so Saturday we had the 4th of July. Sunday was my birthday, didn't do shit. Yesterday I went out and about had a heat exhaustion. And today I'm going to go, okay, so Tuesday. Yeah. All right, AG. Yeah. I have 2 Glock clones. I have the Bear Creek Arsenal clones, Glock 19. Same thing, Glock 19 Gen 3. It's the same thing, just cheaper. I have one threaded and one non-threaded. One for a can, one not. But I don't like the 19. I don't like Glocks simply because of not this. My preference. I do not like that grip angle at all. Period. Don't like it. Mm-mm. If you would try, go to a gun store, Pedro, and try an FN Reflex. Put that in your hand. See if you don't like that better. I carry one of those too. That's my favorite. Well, second favorite. I like the Canik Elite SC, but because they have a better trigger and it's aluminum framed. But that reflex, yep, go for it, buddy. That's the best grip angle on any handgun I've ever tried. Okay. I gotta click on that link. Okay, I gotta stop that right there, and I'll go back to that when I'm done. I'll go back to that when I'm done here. Thank you, Diane. You didn't have to do that. It's past my birthday. I'm old now. All right, we'll see you, Dutch. Run down there. Yes, I know. Glocks are extremely reliable, and they're proven, they're tested. I don't like the grip angle. Just don't like the grip angle. Sorry, don't. Anyway, Miss Junk, how are you? Yes, that's all we're doing. Bullshit today. Oh, Pedro, thinking about your Glock 19. I was talking about my favorite caliber before, and I didn't even mention it. It is a 9 millimeter bullet, but they call it a 38 Super. Yes, sir. A 380, a 9 millimeter, and a 38 Super are all the same bullet. So I call it a 380 a short because I like a 22 short. I call it 9 millimeter 9 millimeter long rifle because it's like a 22 long rifle. And I call the 380 Super a 38 Magnum because, or a 9 millimeter Magnum because that's what it is. And I always said that if someone made a 38 Super in a double stack magazine or a stack and a half magazine and that handgun, I would buy it. And they do. Somebody makes them. They're in the 2019 category of handguns. So you're talking over a good $1,500 to buy one. But I have three 38 Super handguns. I have two Colts and one Rock Island, I believe, in 38 Super. So, if you're looking for a better performing bullet with a little more velocity, same mass, but a little more velocity, a little more range, a little more punch at range, I would suggest a 38 Super. It's been my favorite caliber ever since, God, 1981. Since I first picked up one at a pawn shop up in Massachusetts. And it's been my favorite handgun caliber ever since. I shoot a lot of 9 millimeter simply because it's cheaper and there's more availability. And I do have a couple of 38 380s, but if I'm going to shoot something, uh, I would rather shoot a 38 Super. But yeah, I have three Ruger Mark Ones with a target barrel on. So it's not the big heavy bull barrel, but it's a target barrel. It's a little heavier than the normal pencil size one. I have three of those, and I got a Ruger revolver. It has interchangeable cylinders for a Magnum and 22 long rifle. So yeah, you just keep the 22 mag cylinder in. You can put the long rifles in that. But what other one do I have? I have another revolver too. It's a cheap one. It was made Tennessee or wherever. It's like the Ruger and has interchangeable cylinders. I bought it for my stepdad, and he got fucking so shaky he couldn't even hold it anymore. So he just gave it back to me. Yeah, a Ruger 1022 is a fine gun, but the thing is, there's 10 rounds in that magazine. And when you start out and you allow a kid to go out and start shooting birds or shooting targets by themselves, you don't want something that has 10 rounds in it. I started with a little bolt action single shot. You had to load it with your thumb, the bolt forward, pull the striker back, and then you fired. Bolt, put another bullet in, forward, pull the striker back, and shoot. We started with those. Started with those. Then when we got old enough, We didn't have rotary magazines then. We had tube magazines. So we got to use a 22 that had a tube magazine. So you could put like 12, 15 rounds in there, whatever the hell. But it was still bolt action. So one at a time, bolt, one at a time. You couldn't just shoot boom, 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 boom. You couldn't do that. That's called wasting ammunition. The old man always made us, if we were going to go out and hunt blackbirds in the grove, we had to bring him back. He'd give you 5 bullets. He'd give you 5. He would actually give you 5 and say, I want 5 birds when you get back. And you had to pick them up and bring them back. Because we had blackbirds by the thousands in our pine trees, by the thousands. And taking 5 here, 5 there is not a big deal. We started with 410s. And then when the old man felt we were ready, then we went to a 12 gauge, single shot 12 gauge. Break open, single shot 12. But we started with 410. Nobody ever had a 20 gauge back then. A lot of our grandparents had 16 gauges, but nobody had a 20. I remember Grandpa Huffman had a 20, single shot 20. It was up above one door. And I don't know who got that when he died, but somebody got it. Anyway, never did fire at a 20 gauge. Never. It just sat above the door. And they had a 22 up above the other door. Those were the only guns he had that I knew of. I first started shooting, it was my dad and uncle that got me first started shooting. So we graduated right to a 12 gauge single shot. Yeah, I'll bet you had that gun still yet, don't you, Cumulus? I would love to have that. 22 long rifle on top, a 410 on the bottom, and then the next one would be a 22 mag on the top and a 20 gauge on the bottom. Yep. Those were good guns, actually. Real good guns. Oh, I eventually graduated. I bought a Savage model 2220 20 gauge for deer hunting when it was still slug only up here in Iowa. And topped that with a red dot. Okay gun. Except you could only, if you carried one in the chamber, you could only get 2 in a mag. You had a detachable box magazine. And the goddamn magazines are so hard to get into that gun in a quick situation that I gave it up. I put it away. My best shotgun for deer hunting that I ever 2016 and on down the line. The best one I ever had was my Browning. I have a lightweight Lightning 16 gauge. The most accurate smoothbore slug gun I have ever had in my life. Ever. Never failed me. And then they said, okay, we can start using straight wall jackets. You can get 410 deer slugs. I think I probably got some yet. Someplace. You can buy 410 deer slugs. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, they're around. You can find them. I know they are. How many you want? I'll look. But now that you can shoot a 350, or what's the other one? God, I got 2 ARs chamber in them. The 350 Legend and the 450 Bushmaster. And now they got a 400 Legend, which is the one I like to shoot. But, oh no. There's $4, there's double aught, there's a slug. You go from $4. I don't think you can find BBs or 2s anymore. I don't know if you can find 4s anymore, but you can find 6s on up. But yeah, I can find slugs. I'll bet you. I'll look. I'll see. I'll look. Let me write that down. I need a pen and a piece of paper. I am still looking for that Benji for freaking awesome. Oh, I got a 410 slugs. Let's see. Okay, that's central boiler. I don't think I need this anymore. Yeah, I have to buy some replacement parts for my wood stove. So I got to call them again too. Because they were supposed to call me back, and I haven't had a technician call me back yet. So I got to call them too. But hey, Muscle Shell's here. Time is it? 2:30 something. My wife should be getting home pretty soon. If she ain't already here. They're trying to sell. I don't know if she had to work today or not, but they're trying to sell her stepdad's place because we bought their place here. Then they went and built another place, and now they're trying to sell that because he's moving to assisted living facility. And so they're selling that. There's 40 acres over there. 37 of it's in CRP. And then he's got the house. But that house was built like, what, 25 years ago? So it's a new place. It's got a heat pump in it and blah, 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 blah. 3-car garage. Little tin shed out to the side of it. One of those erector sets. And he's got everything sold. I mean, he sold his pickup. He sold his, or he gave his collector John Deere tractor to the museum. His other John Deere that has a loader and 3-point hitch mower on, that's coming out here. It's going to get stored at my place. And his lawnmower, his John Deere riding lawnmower. Why in the hell he kept that and didn't sell that, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I can buy that shit local, I think. What are you talking about? I missed something. Single shot 10. Okay, Pedro, I have one 10 gauge shell. I don't know where it came from, but I have one 10 gauge shell. You want that? You can have it. And I have one 28 gauge shell that came from my daughter in a bunch of junk. I said, you need to check this shit. There's a 28 gauge shell in there. I think I'll give that one to my brother because he's got a 28 gauge. But my favorite gauge of shotgun is 16 gauge. I like a 16 gauge for some odd reason. I don't know. But I like 38 Super too. So I'm weird. I'm just weird that way. I think your father-in-law would be better off with a 22 Magnum if he's going to shoot a single bullet, because a slug is just a single bullet. I think he'd be better off with a 22 mag rifle. I went and bought myself a 22 mag rifle because I wanted one. Yeah, a 10 gauge would be good, especially if that was a full choke. Holy crap. That would reach out there. Man, that's hard on your shoulder. That's all I can say. That's extremely hard on your shoulder. I got to put this up here. I'm just going to put it right there. Just so you can continue to look at it. Back right there. Just so you can continue to look at it. I have to put my hand back here then. And I might have to go get more coffee too. But yeah, I think if he's just after coyotes and coons in a chicken coop, and he was going to shoot it with a single projectile, 22 mag probably would be not as loud and do the same job. Yeah, it turned out real nice, didn't it, AG? I'm going to have to do this again. Hold up a second. And you see my SR71 here too, don't you? I don't know if you can see that or not real good, but it's my SR71 from Angry also. And yes, I have a 12 gauge and a 45 and the 308. And then the 50s on the top. This is the actual 50 that this one was poured from. This one is a titanium 50 I bought. Why? I don't know. I just wanted a piece of titanium. Why not? Anyway, yeah, those are all silver there. I may need a 9mm yet, and maybe a 223, because that's a 308. I need a 223. The 308 is 2 ounces, so a 223 should be about 1.5. Because the 45 is 1 ounce, 9mm will probably be about 3/4 of an ounce. Yep, that's the 30mm right there. And now when Ginger gets done with my 20mm, that one's going to sit right here. 30, 20, the 50. And then the only other thing I want to make is, I want to have made is, you know what a M203 or an M79 looks like? M79 is just a break open single shot grenade launcher. And the 203 is the one that's under the M16. It's also a single shot, but it's a slide forward and load. Anyway, I want to that shoots a 40mm grenade, and it's only about yay big. I mean, maybe about yay big, but 40mm round. And I want one of those yet. Why? Because I'm a military dick, and I'd rather look at silver like this than look at it in stupid bars or round. You know, I can put this up and look at it. Like I was saying this before, you know, I got those rounds, I got bars sitting in a ammo box in a safe. I never look at them, never see them. Inventory them once or twice, and that's it. But if I get something made like this, and Fervid was right, yes, I lost money having it made, but I'd rather look at it than not look at it. And I'd like to have something that I'm familiar with. Bullets. So, yeah, punt guns. Have you seen those things? Good Lord Almighty. Who sniped who? You sniped me. Oh, Shroomy, I tell you, I tried to get that mushroom troll, but that was out of reach, man. That your pores were crazy. Your pours were crazy. Hey, JJ. Uh-oh, out of coffee. You guys talk. I want to get another cup. Be right back. Be right back. I don't see my wife's not home yet. Oh, Lord. I may go out after the sun goes down to do some work because I just don't want to go out while it's this hot. Woo! Baby, you talk about being warm outside. I tell you, yesterday I about had a heat exhaustion episode because I had to sit down a few times, taking that, cutting that wood off the trailer and unloading it onto the pile. I had to sit in my truck, I think, 2 or 3 times, turn the truck on with the air conditioning on and let that thing go full blast while I'm sitting in there just chugging water. Yeah, you should have had a great time, man. Your pours were they went absolutely phenomenal, I think. But I did get the one pour that I wanted. So, well, it's the 1.5 ounce or 2.5 ounce, the small pour for the WWP auction. That big one, the 4 ouncer or whatever, that one went amazingly high. Well, not as high as the one that I bought, but per ounce anyway. But I didn't want the big one. I wanted the smaller one. So I made a stupid bid, and it got taken, of course. But that's neither here nor there. That's not a big deal. But I really put that over here a little bit. Cover up that toe clipper in the back there. That nail clipper. Yeah, we'll put that behind the silver. Yeah, that was on my list of to do, to talk to you about a pour. I might have to wait till next month. That's a 30 millimeter. This is a 50 that got poured by Ginger. This is the mold. That's an actual 50 cal. This one is just a titanium one that somebody turned down on a lathe. But that's a 308 pour, 12 gauge pour, 45 pour. I need a 223 and a 9 mil yet. Ginger is making me a 20 millimeter. So that one will be about like that. Oh, he's doing that. What? You gonna say something or not? Okay. Block. See, it's that simple. Do not say hello. Never say hello because they're going to capture that and use that. So never say hello. Always say what. And then they will start trying to record you. And if you don't say anything, they can't record anything. And people who call me know that that's how I answer the phone. So they will start talking immediately. a 223 WSSM. Well, if you're, a little short, squat case, but long bullet. But the thing is, I don't want different styles or whatever. I just want a 223, just a regular old 223, a regular old 308. How many different cartridges have been made wildcatted off of a 308 brass? Multitude. And I don't want everything that's been spun off it, but I do want a 223. If you're talking about ballistics and all that stuff, a 224 or a 222 mag a hell of a lot better than a 223, especially the 224. But yeah, I know what a WSSM is, but it's short squat case with a long bullet. Yeah, they're all barrel burners. Back in the day, I used to shoot 220 Swift. I still have it downstairs. That's, I think, still the fastest production round. There are other ones that get up there, but I don't know if they're Wildcats, but I don't know if they're any production rounds. Yeah, you start getting up 4,000 feet per second. Yeah, they're going to burn barrels, buddy. The 220 Swift that I have, I'm on the second barrel now. I do have a 7mm mag. Yes, that's what I shot my elk with. I would shoot moose with that. I would shoot bear with that. My 7mm mag is a fine hunting rifle. Don't need anything any bigger for large game. And I'm not going to Africa, so I'm not going to shoot a rhino or a hippo, or 7mm mag would probably do okay for that. But I think I'd want something a little bigger. Well, a little bit more mass, and damn sure ain't going to elephant hunt with it. If you're going to shoot a lion, you can do that with a 7mm mag. Any of the hoofed animals you can shoot with a 7mm mag. You still got your Swift shooting day? Yeah, 35 is a great brush gun. And if you have a combination of terrain, like where it goes from brush to a little bit more open river bottom or something like that, 30-30 is a wonderful gun. That's what that was built for. That's what that was built for. The 35 Whelen was a great little brush gun, yeah. But there are, calibers come and go, but some calibers stay around for a long time. Like the 308. That 308 has been wildcatted from that base brass more than any other cartridge, I think. Why wouldn't they give it back? And what did he do to get it confiscated? I'm sorry, but if he did a game violation of some type, yeah, then the DNR took it, and a judge said, give it back or destroy it. The judge makes that decision. And if they say destroy it, well, then they sell it. They don't destroy it. They sell it at auction. And you can go and buy it back if you want to. Like when I got picked up for this fucking bullshit, taking a buck deer illegal take of a buck deer. I had a legal license, legal season. I was out of the pickup when I shot. The pickup was turned off. I was standing on the side of the road when I shot it. And I was 30 yards too close to an occupied dwelling. So there was 2 tickets there, shooting from the shoulder of the road and too close to an occupied dwelling. But then they added on that illegal take of a buck deer, and I don't know how in the fuck they did that, but that cost me $4,000 of my fucking rifle. And the rifle they took was a PSA 450 Bushmaster. I didn't give a shit about the rifle. I had that replaced in 2 days. But the optic on top of it's what pissed me off. The optic cost twice as much as the fucking rifle did. And the judge said, destroy it. So they sold it at auction, the fucking assholes. Fuck the DNR. Now, if the police confiscated it, they have to give it back. See you, Pedro. Take it easy, buddy. Good conversation. I may have, and I'm just waiting for the sun to get a little bit lower and go out and load lumber. It's going to take me a couple days for that pile, but I have the hay rack right there by the door, so I don't have to carry it very far. Actually, I can just throw it on there, I think. And I want to get that space cleaned out. And I want to use that for firewood. That lumber doesn't have to be in there anymore. That was when we weren't burning wood and we had extra room and all that stuff. So, but now we do not. So I want to get that lumber out of there, get it on the hay racks. I don't use the hay rack for hay anymore. See, there was an old running gear. Oh, I do that. There was no running gear out in the pasture with my father-in-law's, just a running gear. Tires were flat on it. You know, it had hubs on it. It had hubs that had bearings and seals in, and it was full of grease. That thing hadn't been moved in years and years. And he said, "I do with it whatever you want." So I took it over to the shed, jacked it up. I put 4 new implement tires on the rims. But then I took them all apart and I re-greased everything, put new seals in, filled them with grease, and then I got 2 good big 6x6s, 8x8s, however long they are, 12 foot. Made the foundation for the bed, and then I did 2x6s laid across. I did not put a rack on the back like a regular hay rack. I just left it flat. And then I bolted 2x4s around the edge to strengthen that up. Everything's bolted and nutted. Everything. It's a great rack. It's got new wheels. It's got new grease. It's got new seals. Everything. And that's what that lumber is going to go on. And that gets towed around to wherever we need lumber, or it gets stored in the shed, one or the other. In the other shed, not the firewood shed. Hey, Targonsu's here. How are you, buddy? Lent a Marlin 16 gauge single gut shot, Model 3B to a buddy. Yeah, I would have been there too. Yeah, the guy that stole 1,300 from me, he left his gun here, and I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to actually give me the gun for the 1,300. I don't want his fucking gun. It's an AR-15, 5.56. It's topped with a half-ass decent scope, but it's a homemade gun. It's one that he made himself. Has no serial number. I called ATF and I said, "Hey, this guy's trying to sell me a fucking non-serialized gun." They said, "We're not interested." Okay, fuck you then. That's what I think of the ATF. as much as you hear on YouTube about the ATF doing this and the ATF doing that, they're not fucking interested. They don't care. They don't care. Now, if I went out and shot somebody with it and the police confiscated it, yeah, then they'd be interested. But they're not interested now. See, when you make a gun and it's non-serialized, ghost gun, and non-serialized, you make it yourself. You know, you drill a hole, you ream out the fucking pocket and all that shit, and you get the parts kit for it. It's non-serialized. There's no serial number on it. You can't sell it because it can't be transferred. There's no serial number on it. Even peer-to-peer, you can't do that. It's for your personal use only. So why is the ATF not interested in him giving me that gun and me giving him $1,300? Why are they not interested in that? I didn't make that gun. It's not mine. All I want is my $1,300 back. I don't want that fucking gun. But you know what I'm going to do, or what I might do? Nah, I won't say. Nope, not going there. Okay. That's correct, Muscle Show. You can buy all the parts except for the serialized lower or the serialized frame. That has to be bought from a dealer because it has to be recorded. Now, you can buy a block of aluminum that's kind of shaped like a lower, and you can ream it out, drill it out, and put the parts kit in it. You can do that. You can buy that piece of aluminum online, but you can't buy a complete lower or a skeletonized lower online because that's the serialized part. Has to go through a dealer. Even if you buy it online, it still has to go through the dealer to transfer to you. Because I bought handgun. And that lower receiver that's serialized is the same as a complete handgun. And I know YouTube's policy about guns on live video. You can't handle a live gun, or you can't handle a gun, period, on a live stream. I found that out twice because I had two live streams taken down. And I got a strike. But if I put that gun here on the table and then you showed it to you, yeah, I can do that. I just can't handle them on camera. So if I go like that, yeah, I can do that on camera, but you just can't see me touch it. That's all. Oh, there goes the mouse. You just can't see me touch it. That's all. You know what I mean, Gene? I even got a strike for, I had them laid out on the table here. And rather than touch it with my finger when I was pointing at it, I used a pen. Like this, I just used a pen. And I was pointing at it. And I accidentally touched. I touched a gun with a pen. That live got taken down. Just for that. And I can see where they don't want people handling guns on live videos because some people have done that. They've fucking blown their brains out live because there are stupid people in this world. There's a lot of mental illness out there, I'll tell you. And the education system has failed in probably 2 generations. But be that as it may, you can make a video and show yourself handling and firing weapons all at the same time. I have one video up that shows us firing. I have a video showing my daughter firing several rifles, handguns. Me shooting when it was 10 below zero out here. I did do that too. So that's not a big deal. I got a mortar out there in the shed. It'll shoot tennis balls. I usually load it with black powder. I set it off with a fuse, and it's on a bipod. It has a base plate like a mortar, basically. I just don't have windage and elevation adjustments. That's all. It's fixed. So yeah, you can make that. You can shoot a ball out of it if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. Don't know what a Chinese fuse is. Explain that. I use just regular green fuse that you use on fireworks. I got rolls and rolls of it. I got black powder because I shoot black powder guns. So that's what I load it with. I load it with cannon powder, basically. F1 or 2. If I want to go further, I'll probably load it with F3. But I don't want to overstress the steel. But the steel is, it was the final stage of a dump truck hydraulic cylinder. So it was the final stage of that. Or the upper stage, I should say, for a dump truck. And I used that. Explain to me what a Chinese fuse is. Because the cylinder, the way it was constructed, one end is threaded on the inside. So it has a cap that goes into it, that threads into it. And threads are about like that long. And they're fine threaded. And if it was a coarse thread, I'd be a little more not as careful, let's put it that way. But because they're fine threaded, and there's a hole in the end because that was a pressure relief for the pressure relief for the hydraulics. Anyway, I took that out, and there's a hole there that you can just get a fuse into it, just the right diameter. So that's what I used to set it off with. But I don't want to overpressurize the steel because the actual tube would take it. It's the threads that would blow out the end. And so I don't overpressurize it. I have shot like a full can of pop, a big one, not 12 ounce, but a bigger one, 16 ouncer. I shot that a good 350, 400 yards. It's amazing. And that doesn't take just, I don't know how many ounces of powder. In a quart bag, it takes about 4 tablespoons. I can tell you just by looking, eyeballing it. I don't actually measure it. Maybe I should measure it and see how much that is, but I can eyeball it in a quart bag. In a quart baggie, I can tell you how much it's going to take. And then what I do is I take a paper towels, wad up a paper towel, use that for packing, pop on top of it, boom. We were shooting tennis balls at rendezvous. I asked the guy who was sitting down at the other end of the grounds if I could shoot at his trailer. He said, "Yeah, go ahead." He was a crazy bastard too. He's that impersonator from up in Minnesota. Who does he impersonate? Damn, can't remember now. What's this one? Gun drummer. We'll do that one later too. Yeah, I'll do a video. I'll do a video of my mortar. I'll show you my mortar. Now that the corn's up about head high, I can shoot tennis balls out there, and they won't find them until this fall. I do not have a 50 AG. I wish I did, but I don't. I just like to have a single shot 50. I don't want the clip model. My nephew down the road has a two-shot clip, one in the chamber. I got to shoot that one. He brought it up. I stood up, shot like a regular rifle. Not too bad. Not too bad. I would prefer to be laying down with it on a bipod. Yeah, I got that pulled up. Well, let me see if I can. All right, I see what that one is. I see what that one is. Hey, Dutch is back. Is that the one with the band and guys dressed up in colonial outfits shooting the machine guns and shit to the music? Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Uh-oh. I got a gnat flying around here. I got a gnat flying around here. We better have oh, look at that. I got some more idiots. And see, one ring, which means that I've already blocked them. Means I've already blocked them. Let's just see for sure. 641-359-1958. Don't recognize the number. And I think that's probably blocked. Let's see. Info. No, nothing there. Let me see. Share, tag, delete. Oh. Let's just look and see for a second. Hang up on them, block them. Just like that. All right. Well, evidently I didn't have them blocked before, but they are now. So watch the gun dumber video. Yeah, that was the one that was pulled up. Yep. Well, I'll tell you guys, after this 4th of July wasn't as big a deal as previous ones, for me anyway. I didn't go out and watch fireworks. I didn't do shit. I just stayed home. Like last year, I and the wife went over and watched fireworks over in Mitchell because they shoot them from the bluffs. They shoot them from the river. Great show. It's a great show. Went last year. I didn't even I didn't even want to go this year for some reason. Didn't even want to go. Oh shoot! I gotta go and get another cord. I gotta get another extension cord from UBC to UBC. Male, female. Doggone, I forgot that. I gotta get it, and then that way I can try StreamYard so that I can pull up 2 camera shots at one time. Because I can't do that on YouTube. I don't know how to do that on YouTube. I tried on StreamYard though. So yeah, we'll do that. Because I have my my little coin camera here, my magnifier. But in order to plug it in and actually be able to use it, I need an extension cord for it. Exactly. And what was it, Thomas Jefferson or John Adams that said, and so I'm going to paraphrase here, when the government is no longer responsive to the needs of the people, it's the right of the people to change or abolish it by whatever means necessary. And that is as necessary. See, that's the part that people don't understand. Okay, AG, I got to get some work done here too pretty quick. I think we're going to end it in about 3 minutes. Ah, camera back, just like that. It's magic. It's magic. Oh, I brought this out the other day. I was looking to see if this would fit on Rosa's, my youngest daughter's, pit bull. And it fits right on the pit bull, goes right over the head, and fits right on JJ. You recognize this? And I was going to put a good luck coin in there, but I don't know if that dog would lose it or not. See, because we can make it smaller, or we can make it larger just by doing that. But and I think I could shut it up with another piece of leather. Yeah, I could do that, but it's okay like it is. You guys know what that is, right? You guys know what that is, right? JJ knows what it is because he made it. Or no, Jack Allman made this. I'm sorry. Jack Allman made this, yeah. You know what it is, right? It's a medicine bag. Shit, now I can't get it on. I take glasses off. Got to put it over the ponytail. Wear it around your neck. You put your medicine in there. It's a little possible bag for your neck. No, generally that's where you. It's a medicine bag. It's your bag for your good medicine goes in here, and it hangs around your neck. It's a good place to put mentholyptus or something that you can hold up to your nose and breathe. I just sent Jack a. There was a turtle that came into my shop. He must have got hit on the road. It was a box turtle. I call him painted turtle, a box turtle. Must have got hit on the road. He was only about yay big. And he crawled into my shop because I'm only like 20 yards from the road, 25 yards. And he must have crawled into my shop and crawled under the welder. And I didn't find him until I moved the welder here just a few weeks ago. And I found him. And his back was completely crushed all the way up. The whole shell was crushed. How he got from the road that far is beyond me like that, but he did. And that's where he died, underneath my welder. And when I found him, the carcass was all dried up and everything. So there was nothing, no moisture in him at all. And I looked at it, and the bottom part of the top part of the shell you couldn't save. The claws you could have saved, but on a box turtle that big, they ain't that big anyway. So Cumulus, are you going? All right, see you, buddy. Anyway, the bottom shell, I cut that out all the way around and came off, and I cleaned it up with a grinder and everything with my Dremel tool. Got everything cleaned up, and on the top, or I mean on the bottom part, not the part next to the guts, but on the part that's closer to the ground is where the design is at. And there was one little break in the upper part of the shell, which I kind of backed together, and then I put some clear lacquer on both sides just to hold everything in place. And it's such a pretty pattern. And I mean, it's kind of dirty in a place or two, but it's such a pretty pattern that I cleaned that all up and did clear lacquer on everything and dried it. And I sent that to Jack to see if he can do something with that, because he likes to make little things like this. He likes to make stuff like this. And I thought maybe he could use that. Because when my girls were growing up, we made Ninja Turtle outfits out of them, out of big snapping turtle shells. I cleaned the shells all up and I lacquered them, clear lacquered them. We drilled holes in them to make a harness for them, and they would wear them around like on their backs, like turtles. So they were Ninja Turtles, and I wish I still had them. I think we gave them all away. But yeah, that was about 5 minutes ago, wasn't it? All right. Well, yeah, we're getting into that shit now. I think anything else I'm wanting to talk about, but I did want to do that one more time before I put it up someplace. Or maybe I should just leave it up here and use it as a background, or put it on the table over here. The table's full of shit right now, but paperwork I'm working on. Like for my LLC, I got to change something that says perpetual need to be changed to the death of or to heirs. Yeah, you have to watch out for certain stuff in LLCs. I think that's trust paperwork that has, yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out. But all right, we are going, buddy. We will see you, Muscle Shell. We will see JJ, Cumulus, Dutch. Nice of you to be here. Fervent was here. All you guys, man. And Dutch, if you ever come here, I got 1, 2, 3 safes full of guns, 4 safes full of guns. You can just about shoot anything you want. And if I don't have it, I can get it real quick. All right, we'll see you guys. Peace out.